Welcome to another episode of Go Coast Fight TV podcast. I'm here with
Francisco Corona
and
Colin Wright.
We're here to our 8th episode. Last weekend was pretty intense. There are a couple of good fights that we saw at the UFC. We also want to talk about the fight night that's coming up, and also a little bit about Bellator. You guys, what do you think of last week's fights?
Mr. McGregor fights, I think it was one of the fights of the year. Definitely a candidate for fight of the year. It was a war. Yeah.
I know it was back and forth. Do you agree with the decisions? I know it's been talked about throughout the whole MMA community and all that. So we're catching the later end of it, but I think it's kind of important because it was a really good fight.
Yeah, I think it was for McGregor. On my opinion, tough decision, of course, but I think it went for McGregor. Yeah. What do you think, Mr.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great fight. Definitely one of the best fights of the year. It was a little bit more of like one of those like gritty fights that you see. A lot of like fights that end up with like fight of the year candidates are just like guys are trading or whatever. This was a really gritty fight. They were fighting everywhere, a little bit in the clinch, a little bit standing at range. I don't, as far as the decision goes, I think that it really could have gone either way, honestly. I think either way, you can't really argue with it. I think that's one of those fights I would have rather seen it scored more Pride style, like where they score the fight as a total instead of it round for round, because I really felt like scoring it round for round was so incredibly hard. Like you had round like 2, McGregor dropped Diaz early in the round, but then Diaz controlled like the rest of the round. Like, how do you score that? Like, obviously the knockdown counts for a lot, but if he didn't control the rest of the round, like, it's like one of those 50-50 rounds. So I would have scored the whole fight as a draw. Like, it was so incredibly close, but great fight.
I think it would have been more of a split decision instead of a majority, in my opinion. But
yeah,
it was great. What about that knockout by Johnson?
Scary. I mean, that dude has scary amounts of power. You don't want to run into that guy in a dark alleyway. That's for sure.
I don't think nobody was expecting that to be that quick. I think everybody was expecting to be a knockout, but probably not that fast. As I think Dana White was saying that too. It was pretty fast and pretty amazing.
And the nasty combination by Mr. Cerrone, I thought that was pretty intense.
Really pretty combination.
Beautiful.
Really pretty. The most important aspect of that I love the slow motion gif of it that's going around right now, because it really shows that like high level elite striking. You're supposed to twist on point of contact, and you really see that because it really generated a lot of power each time he landed one of those strikes. That jab, it was crisp. It kind of shocked shocked his face, and then the body shot sent ripples through the body, and the hook, or the uppercut or shovel hook, whatever you want to call it, landed flush, and then the head kick was just icing on the cake. The whole thing was just immaculate. So
cool. Well, we have good news for your camp.
Absolutely.
You picked up a sponsorship. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Shout out to On It. Gotta love them. Thank you, Andrew Craig, for hooking that up. I've been a big fan of the On It products for a long time. I always talk about them, always preach about them. But they really do have the best supplements on the market. And some really, really high quality training gear. They have all kinds of stuff going on at their facility. They have, jiu-jitsu, yoga, strength and conditioning, everything. So love their products. Really proud and really excited to get sponsored by them for this fight and be working with them.
That's awesome.
Great.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
And I'm looking forward to seeing some of that results of that fight night.
Absolutely.
Against Adrian, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Adrian Yanez, fighting him on Legacy 59, September 16th at the Arena Theater. So definitely be there, get your tickets.
Well, let's talk about this weekend coming up. I think this UFC fight night should have been a pay-per-view because that card is just unbelievable. I mean, in my opinion. Thoughts?
Yeah, it's a really stacked card from head to toe. You got the headliner, Damian Maia versus Carlos Condit. In that fight, I think that a lot of that's going to be dictated by who controls the range better. I think that Maia has good enough takedowns to get Carlos down, and once he does, I think it's going to be a short night for Condit. At the same time, Condit on the outside with his striking, he could just beat up Maia really bad and just make it almost impossible for him to get taken down. Condit's such a grizzled veteran. I think I'm going to go with him as my pick. But if Maia gets him down early and often, it's going to be a bad night for Condit. So
Maybe a tough night.
Yeah, great. It's a great stylistic matchup because on paper it's striker versus grappler, but where that really gets interesting, in my opinion, is like up against the cage. Out in the open, Damian Maia's going to smoke him. But like if Carlos can like keep his back to the fence, it's going to be a better position for him defensively. It's going to be harder for Damian to like work his game. So Damian's going to have to drag him away from the cage and off that wall. I think that's going to be a big part of the game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really high caliber, jiu-jitsu guy versus a really good stand-up, and of course the points that you said are definitely gonna be the difference in the fight. And the whole card is pretty cool. That one, co-main event, Mr. Anthony Pettis, is going versus Charles Oliveira. He trains. He used to train here a couple of times in Houston. Macaco is one of his coaches. Amazing guy. So he's going versus Anthony Pettis, which is going down on weight. He's fighting 145. That's gonna be pretty cool to see how he can perform after the weight cut. There's a couple of stuff going on the internet right now that his weight cut and how he looks right now. We'll see how that plays on the fight. Charles Oliveira, I know he used to fight on 145. So we'll see how that one goes for Mr. Anthony Pettis. Hopefully, it's a good fight. A great stand-up fight for both of them.
I think Anthony's against the wall with this. Last
two losses in a row.
And I don't know. I think he's gonna, what's that phrase where don't go into the bush where the tiger's at or something like that. I think this is where he's gonna. I think this is gonna be dangerous.
This is a make or break type of fight for Anthony Pettis because he had that mysticism after the Showtime kick and like winning the title and like defending the title. He looked flawless doing it both times, but then and then he gets beat twice in a row, and then he starts to look human, and now he's accumulated a couple losses, and he's not looked nearly as good. People have started to figure out his how to beat him, and I think for this fight, especially at a new weight class, it's usually a chance for a new start. He's got to take advantage of it. I think it's a good matchup for him on the feet. I think he's gonna be able to outbox Oliveira. But Oliveira has really good Muay Thai too, so you might see a really interesting Muay Thai battle there. And they both have really interesting submission games too. I think Oliveira is probably just a step higher than him, though. He's a little bit quicker. He's a little bit stronger in those positions. So I think it's an interesting battle, either on the feet and on the ground. So, but
a lot of changes definitely on Anthony and Anthony's fight. He's been training at Jackson for what I
he's been cross training over there.
He's been cross training now, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a different Anthony Pettis on this one. So we'll see.
More of a strat, approach to it than the female fight coming up as well.
Yeah.
Paige Van Sant and Beck Rawlings. That's gonna be a brawl right there.
I think, I think with that one, I don't think it's actually. I think Beck is a much larger woman physically, and I think that fight, that's going to come into play in this. I don't think Paige is dynamic enough of a takedown artist, and she's definitely not a striker. She eats a lot of punches on her way inside, and I think that's where she's going to have the biggest advantage over Beck. Plus, she was on the Dancing with the Stars for like this whole time, so I can't imagine that she's gotten any better at fighting. Who knows?
Maybe her footwork is going to be unbelievable.
It's a possibility. That being said, I just think Beck is just a little bit bigger and stronger. I think it's going to work to her advantage in this fight.
Right.
What about the rest of the card? Joe Lauzon and Mr. Miller.
Yeah.
Man, both veterans, both fighting tonight numerous times. Just unbelievable. I mean,
I feel like when actually, isn't this a rematch? Didn't they fight once before and it was just like a bloody massacre?
Yeah, you're right. Joe
Joe lost
right.
a decision. Jim was landing elbows like crazy and just split Lauzon to pieces. And so I actually think, and I think that if this is the fight I'm thinking of, and this is a rematch, I think Jim Miller has the slight edge in this one. He may take it to him even earlier in the fight and end it quicker. But You never know. Joe Lozon is, man, he's a crafty veteran. He's been around forever. So I just think his striking game, like, he never really evolved it. And so, like, up to a certain level, he could deal with guys, but, like, past a certain level, he always struggled against certain guys. So I think that's kind of how this fight's going to play out. Jim Miller's worked on his striking a little bit more, and I think that's going to work to his benefit.
And then Friday night's going to be Bellator, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I mean, the big card there is Benson Henderson versus Pitbull.
Patricky Pitbull.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really cool fight. Definitely, Ben Henderson is gonna be the bigger guy in that fight.
But Patricio has got some stones in his hands.
Yeah, he has, and he also has a really impressive record, 25-3. Yeah, we're gonna see. Patricio is a knockout artist, but of course Ben Henderson, I'm pretty sure he's been in probably somehow bigger fights.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that experience goes.
Do we know if this is a 3-round or a 5-round fight? I think it's 3-round, right?
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a 3-round fight. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, definitely it's gonna be both of them strikers. So it's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, I think the 3-round fight favors Patricio a little bit more, but I think Benson has just had bigger caliber competition. He's a much physically bigger fighter, and he's a wrestler. He's a heavy wrestler. He knows how to wear guys down. I think that's going to work to his advantage in this fight. So I got Ben Henderson on that one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Ben Henderson.
Well, I'm not going against the grain. I'm gonna go with Patricio.
If he lands early, I mean,
Yeah.
you see it. He gets those walk-off knockouts like Mark Hunt.
I am a big Benson Henderson fan, but I think
Something about
Patricio's gonna edge out this fight. Yeah, he is a bigger fight, huh? 5'9", 108, and he's going down on weight, huh? As far as that, for his natural weight, I meant.
Right. Yeah, Benson he's been fighting on lightweight. So, and Patricio, for what I see more or less, he's been on 145. So we'll see how this one goes. He goes up, and Mr. Ben Anderson goes to 155. We just used to fight on that weight. So I think it's gonna be a pretty good fight too. Yeah, and Bellator definitely is really doing a big thing. I think in a couple of years it's gonna be a very different Bellator from UMC. I think it's gonna be a lot more competition you see between fighters. They're going to Bellator and UFC. I think in a couple of years is gonna be the difference. Now they just signed
Roy McDonald.
Yeah, Roy
Roy
McDonald.
McDonald,
And
that's
that-
They're
that's pretty cool.
from what I understand, they're talking to Cowboy Cerrone right now.
Which
Yeah,
is
I
huge
did
too.
see that he was free.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Right.
That was just speculation. But
He does have a good management program. I mean,
yeah, here's the thing. He has a lot of sponsorships, and guys that have like big sponsorships, it's a lot more appealing to go to Bellator, where the sponsors will pay you that extra money. So.
Well, I know time is constrained, so just one question, and then we'll go.
Absolutely.
As far as on it, is it a big factor as far as adding supplements and nutrients and stuff like that to your fight?
So essential, like especially when you start depleting yourself and you're getting your weight down. Having the proper nutrition is so important. What I love about Anna is that they've done the research for me. I don't have to do any research. I already know that their products are 100% natural. It's all plant-based stuff. It's been thoroughly tested by a lot of independent studies, and it's really interesting to see some of the newer products that they have, because it's kind of groundbreaking products. Like Alpha Brain is where else? I mean, they basically started a whole new crave. You're starting to see nootropics everywhere, but that was the whole point of the Alpha Brain originally, and so it's starting to explode into this whole other thing, and other people are starting to finally catch on to the bandwagon. But they're doing it first, and they do it the best in my opinion. So I just
go to Onnit.
Go to onnit.com. I really can't tell you enough good things about their stuff, and I'm not smart enough to repeat everything on their website, so please just go to their website and check it out.
Do your research.
Seriously, do your research, do yourself a favor. I promise you won't regret a thing going to their websites.
Well, we have to bid adieu. I thank you guys for letting me get an opportunity to hang out and talk to you guys. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to talk about some products here. Thank you very much, Mr. Wright.
Thank you,
appreciate
Diego. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Nice to
Paco.
see you. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Diego Reyes. Welcome back, and I am here with,
Francisco Corona.
and I wanted to touch base with you because I can't believe how awesome of gear you have at this store. The question arises how important it is to get the right glove. And I know that you have that knowledge, so please bestow it upon me.
Yes, as we were talking, I think it's really important to get the right gloves. You know? I say this all the time, and you know, for people that have been coming, they know that when I'm here and all the staff that we work, we wanted to have a really personal with each of our customers. So we ask a lot of questions when they walked in. You know, when they're looking for gloves. You know, first thing they say, I'm looking for gloves. Okay, so what do you train? Where do you train? What are you looking for, more or less? And start, you know, having a little conversation with him, so I get to know more or less what they're looking for. All gloves, they're similar. You know, they probably look similar. But there's a lot of difference between one and the other ones. Sometimes I do give some personal advices. I like some certain kind of gloves, just like everybody else, and at the end is what you feel comfortable on your hand, right? But sometimes depending on the martial arts too is the different or what you're training or what your goals are. I mean, we see the difference between one glove to another glove. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of difference. You know, traditional boxing gloves. You know, they have more padding over here. You know, they're a little bigger. Their weight is divided a little more different, right? Compared to most of the Muay Thai gloves made in Thailand. You know, when the weight is most of them over here. You know, they don't have a lot of paddings on the side. The wrists sometimes, and some of them are big. So it's a lot of difference. Some people love Muay Thai gloves. Sometimes people like to train with boxing gloves. So those are a lot of the things that I try to get from our customers when they walked in. You know, some kind of fitness gloves that they can be perfectly used for everything else, but there's also a difference between that and this and this one.
Interesting. So when you do come here, when you go to Woods Fighters World, ask them, you know, or better yet, know what you want as far as your training goals. Your what do you want? You want to spar? You want to do in competition? You just want to use for the bag, use it for weight loss or for cardio. Those are things that are important. And as far as my opinion, going into Woods Fighters World, that's the quality that you get as far as they want to know what's your specific goal, your task at the end, you know. When you do come out here, you don't forget, you also need to protect your
hand wraps.
So the Woods Fighters World, they make them. They have them right here as well. So don't. When you do get a chance, come down to Woods Fighters World. Check out their website. Don't forget to press like. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. We're making big things. We're making big things. So big news coming. Big news coming, all right? Again, I appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging out with us for a little bit. Please support your businesses that support MMA fighters, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. They're there for the fighters. They're there for their safety. They're there to supply their needs. So support businesses that support combative sports.
Mr. Diego, thank you very much.
Well, thanks. All right.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the next, and hope to see you then. Next episode. Boom, boom, boom.